As we come back to you at Flemington, there she is, the winner of the Crown Oaks Kensington Palace, and as you can see there, beautifully ridden by Dee Oliver. Look at that balance and poise, little glance back, no one anywhere near me, hands and heels to the post. And there is a pretty good filly, let me tell you. She looks pretty happy with herself too. And I have the owner of Kensington Palace with me, David Haynes. Welcome to our studio, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Tim.
She's pretty handy.
Yeah, she's a pretty useful filly.
Yeah. Now tell me, I probably asked you this question before. You love your racing, been involved for many, many, many years. It's expensive, it can be heartbreaking. Why do you continue to do it?
Well, before the race you wonder about that. When you feel that sort of tension mounting and slightly sick and wonder why the hell you subject yourself to it, and then every now and again, after the race, you know why you do. The thrill is just extraordinary.
Yes, it's an absolute thrill too, isn't it?
It really is.
I can see the look on your faces up in the stands, and it doesn't matter if you're winning the Melbourne Cup or the Oaks or whatever you're winning, it's just great to see that horse of yours go past the post.
That's right. There's something about just watching it come through or win that you can't explain. I suppose it's... unless somebody's experienced, it's very difficult to understand what it's like.
Yes, and of course, this is your third Oaks. What's going to happen with Kensington Palace? What do you do with this? And here's another shot of the race, by the way, as you speak to us.
Well, she'll go out into the paddock now for a well-earned rest, and then it'll be up to Lee and his team to decide what she does in the autumn. But she's obviously a staying filly, and she'd be probably kept for the fillies races, the fillies distance races.
Yes, you know, David, it's also occurs to me that every time you see one of Lee's horses turned out, there's never any fuss with them. They go to the barrier with their chin on their chest and they're beautifully schooled, and she just looked so relaxed, didn't she, throughout the whole race? Well,
he and his team are, you know, they're really star trainers. They're totally professional, know exactly what they're doing. And when they get a horse that can run, they can get the best out of it.
I've got Peter Donegan and Jenny Chapman down in our mounting yard, and I'm sure they'd want to ask you a couple of questions too. You too?
Yes, indeed, Tim. Congratulations to David. I did that before when you were down here. But you have added reason. It's always nice to win a great race over the carnival, but you have added reason with this filly, don't you, because of the breeding. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, she's by a stallion that we bred, and out of a mare that we bred, so she's a real home product. And we also bred the dam, so she's pretty much a Kingston Park product.
She sure is. And here's another shot of the race, Pete, which you're obviously seeing too. And David's calling her a pretty handy filly. I think he might be being a bit modest. I think she might be a bit better than that.
Yeah, I think she's better than handy, Tim. And as I said to Lee Friedman after the race, David, if that had been a harness race, Dee Oliver was one out, one back in the perfect spot. He made his move at the perfect time. I said after the race, I think he's the best jockey in Australia. I don't think I'd get too much disagreement from you.
No, you wouldn't. I think he rode an outstanding race. He was well positioned right from the beginning and never changed his position right through the race. It was an outstanding ride.
David, could I finally ask you, because we're running out of time, do you think she is 1.5 mile to 2 mile stayer?
Well, there's no reason why she shouldn't. The Grand Dam was side by Busted, which was a real staying horse, and of course her father was a Melbourne Cup winner, so there's every reason why she should stay, so we're hopeful.
Good to see you with a smile on your face. Well done.
That's a pleasure.
That's number 3, by the way, isn't it? 3 Oaks winners?
Well, 3 here, count. But we've had a few others.
Exactly. David Haynes has had them everywhere, folks. He's had absolutely everywhere. Thanks for joining.
Thanks very much.
David Haynes, the owner of Kensington Palace, and a bit more than handy. Sandra Sully in our marquee.
Thank you, Tim. I have with us one of Australia's leading artists, Naomi Benheim. Welcome.
Hello.
Now, your specialty, unlike many other artists who use paintbrushes, etc., is surgical instruments. Tell us how and why you use those in particular.
Well, I take whole skins and then cut them into little pieces with chisel and scalpels and make big murals out of leather. So landscapes, cityscapes, or horses, or Victoria, for example, I've done one very big one, which is 4 meters long, and it's Victoria fall season. It's spring, summer, autumn and winter. And instead of painting them, as in flowers, I cut them out and put them into little pieces and apply them onto plywood.
A lot of fine work, a lot of filigree work, but size is no problem for you. I mean, you sell a lot to a lot of corporate clients, and your murals are seen right around the country. It's quite important, isn't it, that corporate client area?
That's right. I'm actually in the moment working on a project for the United States. I've been at the New York Art Expo as the only Australian artist there. And I'm now working with a lot of corporations and hospitals and hotels to make the entrance halls.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us today. And of course, if you're interested in catching a little bit of Naomi's work, you can see it at the Sofitel right through until January. So, Tim, there you have it, one of Australia's leading artists and a very, very clever woman.
Indeed. Looks like that marquee's full of clever people this afternoon, Sam.
Of course. Where else would we be?
Thank you. Well, just quickly remind you, our competition running all of this week, and it is a beautiful luxury weekend for two, courtesy of the Star City, their brand new casino in Sydney. And we'll run it again on Saturday, give you the phone number again on Saturday. Make sure you get involved because it is a beautiful prize. We've got one to go on Oaks Day 1997, the Women's Day Cup, Peter Donegan.
Here.
Pete.
Oh, sorry,
where are
Tim.
you?
Now,
What are you doing?
I was just talking to Dr. Turf, actually, because he's got a runner in the race here, Go Rami.
Yes, and a horse that won this race last year, in fact, Peter, too. So hopefully for Docky, he can go all right.
I was just saying to him, I'm not talking to you even if the horse wins the race. He said, why is that? And I said, I'm going to be in the studio. So that's as good an excuse as I can come up with.
That'll do.
The Women's Day Cup, race 8, 4:45. They're coming into the mounting yard. 16 straight starers out, Jennifer, a field of 16. And start them off with the toppy here, Reaper Barn with